Good morning and welcome to Three Dudes and a Lady. Join us for a little inspiration, a little motivation, and perhaps a way to cope with your day. I'm Mike from Virginia, and my gratitude this morning is just came to me vocabulary, because Jay Shetty told us to have a serendipitous day.
That was awesome. Good morning, everyone. My name's Jay Anderson. I yield from the wild, wonderful state of West Virginia. My gratitude for the day is, I think, just being on this platform. Every now and then, I have to come back and be very grateful for this platform.
Hey guys, I am Christine Wright, hailing out of the great state of Florida. My gratitude is also for this platform and Jay Shetty. I appreciate his wisdom and knowledge that he shares with us on a daily basis. So today he talked about open every door, right? Like on a game show, he brought up like where there's the three doors and one has a new car behind it and the others have nothing, right? You pick door one and the host reveals door number two and there's nothing there, right? So now you get a chance to or choose a different door if you want, or you can keep your same one. But a lot of times what we do with these doors is one door is not truly better than the rest, right? And life is not a game show. There's a lot of doors, and Jay was speaking that we should open all of them, right? Especially while we're with our options and pursuing every path, right? He spoke about the game Pokemon. I don't know a lot about this game. None of my kids played it. I didn't play it, so I don't know. But I guess you could explore the whole world, or you could just win by training a few to beat the box, right? There's hidden paths and like rare monsters in it, I guess. But you can explore the whole map, but it's not required, but it is more rewarding, he said. So the game is kind of like opening every door, right? Some of the doors are going to close naturally, but some will remain open, right? Open every door you can because you may not know what you will find. So we need to investigate all of our options. Like he was talking about classes you take on a whim, right? Books or podcasts that plant ideas in our brain. We sometimes miss opportunities, but by not opening the door, right? This door, and this doesn't mean that you should never say no or that you should go after everything, right? On our growth and glory journey, we try to identify the optimal path to get us to the goals that we want, right? But there's so much more that awaits us behind doors that we may overlook. You never know what you may find. I loved this, right? It's so good. And, like uh, sometimes we are so stuck in our minds about what we're doing and the goals that we have that we don't pay attention to doors. Like there may be a door wide open for us, waiting for us to go through it, but we don't go through it because we're so stuck in our way, right? We're so stuck on the path that we're on that we miss that door. And I mean, it's not like it's intentional per se. It's just because we don't know that that door could help us with our goals, right? And maybe it can, and maybe it can't. Maybe it'll present a new opportunity for us or give us a more creative idea. I don't know. Like, but I loved what Jay was saying. What do you guys think?
Mike, go ahead.
I was thinking, first off, I am of the era that watched Monty Hall and Let's Make a Deal. So, oh, there were, but
That was a show, Christine, back in the day that, oh, never mind, never mind.
and it
Thanks for
was
explaining.
revived. It was revived with Wayne Brady as the host. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, and my kids had Game Boys with Pokemon. No, but anyway, uh, yeah. I mean, I think all the doors I've opened metaphorically, uh, and some of them were effectively, some of them were AFOs, another failed business opportunity, but
But you probably still learned something from it, right?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
So go ahead, Mike.
and people, you meet people, and some of those. I mean, why would why would I get a call from someone who was in my networking group 10 years ago when they needed health insurance? Because that door opened, right? And it apparently it never closed because when they lost their job, I was one of the people they thought to call. Um,
Yeah, so you meet these people and okay, so like you can help them, right? But maybe they can help you along your journey as
Of
well.
course. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And if you don't go through that door, you would have never had that opportunity to meet that person.
Yeah.
And you
Think
must have
about
made
the
an impact on their
opportunities.
lives because they called you 10 years later.
Yeah. And look at the opportunities what different companies afford us. I don't know if I would have ever, well, maybe I would have gone to Asheville, but certainly wouldn't have gone to Swannanoa.
Right,
Had that door not open. And that door opened because of a friendship from a former employee.
right. Well, look at
So
us, like starting this platform like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, for no re I mean, I don't
and
even know why we started this, to be honest. Like, I was just in because I was already doing my morning routine. So for me, it was like a no-brainer. But now look at the friendships and the
well, it
everything.
started out as a 90-day blitz and a combination of 90-day blitz and Miracle Morning. And how many were on when we
12-week
first
year.
started? 30,
We're on day
25?
number 88 in this cycle.
Oh, look at those
Okay.
apples. See, and Jay still keeps track of the 90 days for us.
I
How
do.
many cycles?
A
I
lot.
do. This is a very powerful topic. I suspect that, and the reason I say it seems like it's an easy, metaphorically phrased statement. And using the game show with door number one, door number two, door number three, I think the hurdle for majority of people is they don't recognize there's a door in front of them in the first place. And I think that can be a hard thing to distinguish whether there's an opportunity for them or not. And the statement, the wasn't a statement, the question that Jay asked, and I thought that this was awesome, kind of helps determine whether there's a door or not. And the question was, are you leading down a predetermined path? In other words, are you so focused into this one path that nothing else really matters because that path is where you're going? There are a lot of people that operate that way, I feel. They become very singular in their focus versus maybe being open-minded, maybe paying attention to your surroundings. So there are ways really to know that there are other doors out there, but it is up to us as individuals to be self-aware of that.
Would you say there are people still out there who are on a path that was chosen for them by their parents?
Oh yeah,
Oh, for
yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
yes,
Doctors who have children who are doctors, who have children who are doctors, and same with lawyers and accountants. And
Yeah,
yes. I
for
have
sure.
an uncle who my grandfather was a civil mining engineer, and he owned a large company. And my uncle followed suit, and I don't think he really wanted to follow suit. Now, my uncle is a brilliant man in his own right, and a lot of times when you see in family dynamics of someone being dominant in a business position, the offspring are not as dominant because they don't have the same uh, aspirations per se, I
Yeah.
guess.
It's not really they didn't put all the blood. It's like the second generation. I,
Yeah,
I heard a podcast on this talking about this. Like it's a second generation thing, right? Right.
second generation tends to drop off a little bit, maybe.
And
But
then the third
anyway,
generation really drops off.
my uncle has, in the last many years, finally has thrived at what he's done with his engineering firm, and very, very proud and very happy for him. So it took a lot of time. It took a lot of pressure. It took a lot of stress on him, and he endured it. So I think I think what you asked, has parents set something in place? I really think so. My grandfather wanted all of his grandkids to go into engineering. I mean, that's just how he thought. Okay. Here's a guy that had an office in Beckley, Sydney, Australia, Denver, Colorado, had an office in New York. I mean, this guy, his foresight was crazy. So, it's just, I'm glad my uncle has found his own lane. And I think he's, over the last several years, been able to take and shred I'm doing this because it's family. I think he's found his lane now. But Mike, I think a lot of people don't. And I
Well,
think
look at Jay Shetty. Jay Shetty was one of those people. Like he went to college to become, I can't remember if it was a doctor. I don't know, something to do with something that his parents were pushing on him. And then he went
Mm.
to his parents and told him he was going to be a monk. And he went and became a monk for so many years.
and as a parent, how could you be mad at that?
Well,
I mean, I
how are
guess
you
you
going to be mad
could,
at
but
that?
Good. Throwing your life away. How will you make money?
Yeah, yep. And I think Jay heard all of those things from his parents. Like he in his book, the Think Like a Monk, he talks about that story. And if you listen to him on other things, he does talk about that story a little bit. I mean,
yeah,
his parents and him are fine. Like there's no animosity or anything, but it was a trial and error thing, right? Like this is what he wanted to do with his life and going to your parents and saying, "Hey, I'm going to become a monk."
well, and
Yes.
that's kind of me. I was the oddball of the family. I've got, my family is on from the professional aspect. My dad was an attorney, my sister's an attorney. One grandfather was a dentist, the other one was a engineer. Then I was a car guy.
I think it's I think it's funny you're talking about engineering because where I grew up, there were the majority of the people who were farmers or worked in the cotton mill.
Yeah.
And I didn't know any engineers, didn't know anybody whose parents were engineers, didn't know what engineering was. So when I went to college, we had a huge engineering school, but that wasn't on my radar at all.
When I was growing up, I wanted to be a civil engineer.
Really?
And then I went and luckily my school had this thing where I could like kind of intern one and I hated it. I was like, nope, this is not what I was meant to be. So I didn't do that. And then I started going to college just for general stuff. And I was like, I don't even want to do this. So that's what made me want to join the military because I was like, what am I doing with my life? I'm not doing anything. So
Well, mining engineering in southern West Virginia one time was huge. They don't call coal black gold for nothing.
right.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean,
Mhm.
it ruled this whole area. And
Yep.
it still does to a degree, but it doesn't have the manpower because machinery's taken over and the IT world has evolved, but it's still a heavy hitter. And the
For sure.
reason being is our coal is metallurgical, and meaning that it burns hotter and cleaner than other coal seams throughout the United States. So that's where the difference becomes. So I don't know, it's an interesting thing. I think opportunities exist for us all the time,
Yeah.
but I feel like we do fail to see that quite often. Even if you are open-minded, even if you do, sometimes it's not readily in your face and descriptively written out. Hey, this is a door for you to open because here is the opportunity and it
Yeah.
presents itself. And so I think we as individuals, we just have to pay attention. And that's one thing that Jay Shetty does a marvelous job with is almost everything he talks about comes back to this self-awareness. And
Does.
self-awareness is so important And it's probably a very undervalued thing. And I feel like it's something that we need to put value for our own self. And it's not used as a measurement, but I'm just saying it's a resource that we, for our own self, can find happiness, compassion, jobs. It can find a lot of things. And that's how we learn about ourselves.
And I think today, and like some of his other lessons, it's more about making choices rather than letting life happen to you and just go through in a daze. You
Or maybe
open
listening
those,
to
open
outside
those
influence.
doors.
Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
I said, open those doors. Even if you just peek in, open the door.
Yeah.
Even if you
Maybe it,
just peek in, right, exactly.
But sometimes external forces will cause us to not go through a door. This happened to me like 7 years ago. Literally. I think it was like maybe 7, 8 years ago. I had this door open for me and I was going to go through it, and external forces were telling me, no, no, you should not do that. You should focus on the main thing. So I didn't do it. And then the door opened again, like, I don't know, 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago. And now I went for it, right? But sometimes, like if I would have been way ahead of my game if I would have done it 8 years ago. But I also don't think I was ready 8 years ago.
I mean,
I think we have,
timing.
you raised such a great statement right there. I would have been ahead of my game. I think we also have to be very cautious as individuals to what if ourselves.
To
You
what?
can't to what if
Oh, yeah,
ourselves.
Hmm.
I think that a lot of times we get into that statement, what if I did this, I did that? You have to be careful because ultimately the path that lays in front of you, you're choosing. You
for
know,
sure.
the crazy part is we feel like sometimes, as Mike says, it is predetermined. So who are you trying to please? Other people or yourself?
Right.
And so the path is controlled or not controlled. Do we have control of our own self? And that's where you sometimes you have to ask that question. And some people need that leadership. They need that push. Other people don't need that push. So, and I also think it's in your DNA how that plays out.
Right, for sure.
I'm going back to what happened at my last high school reunion because I graduated from high school going to college pre-med all the way, right? I, s- I said, I need to call you guys out. Why didn't one of you just take me and grab me by my shoulders and give me a stern talking to? Because I was the business manager of the high school newspaper, award-winning high school newspaper, which led me to go to UVA because we went to Virginia High School League competitions and all this stuff. But I was a business manager. I was a treasurer of like three different clubs. Yet y'all let me go and take this path, right? So sometimes it's good. Sometimes maybe you should, if you see somebody who has a gift that they're not really pursuing, maybe you should point it out to them
You
and
definitely
let
should.
let them
Yeah.
open the door.
Listen, I think if you're a good family or a friend, I think it would be nice if someone pointed out to me, Jay, listen, you're missing a boat here, you know, and I would appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, but do I want a third party that I don't know telling me that? For me
Will you listen to
personally,
that third party?
Well, these were my best
huh?
friends.
And will you
And
listen to it? Will you listen to the third
yeah.
party telling you,
I think I would listen to it, but in the back of my head, I'd be
no,
like,
you're
what
not
the
doing it?
hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to be realistic about it because I feel like a third party wouldn't even know who I am, what I stand for, what I
Right.
believe in, things of that nature. But I don't know.
The other
Guys,
thing is if you let unemployment lead you down a path of employment, that might be out of desperation. And don't forget to open other doors when they come around.
bingo, bingo. Sometimes open a door and you start in that path. Make sure that you continue looking through the other doors as you're taking or you're entering that path.
For sure.
Yeah. Guys, I think it's easy to see we're not licensed therapists, but man, tell me that's not fun to explore all this stuff that Jay Shetty throws out as. It's so cool to see different angles and hear how people think. And a lot of times it opens up our mind a little bit. We're not singular. We look at a broader picture. Hence the title, Open All Your Doors. Every door, open them. Hey, please join us on a daily basis. We listen to the app Calm. Within that app, we listen to Jay Shetty every morning. We take his topics, we dissect them, and we learn and grow from them. Please join us. Peace.
This is